Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week, 10 days. Well, today's second video, day 10, will take us to the 1st of June. Wow, that's the first day, mid-tropical summer, of course. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, right around a couple of weeks. And we'll have a look at the CFSB2 at the end of the video, the next 4 weeks, the next month, and also the next several months. We're going to become, this video will become an extended long range. Okay, we're not licensing at the moment, so I thought we'd then include some long range at the end of this video to make up for that, because normally Sunday licensings will be very much focused on the long range. Talking of licensings, the lives will return in June, so I segregated it all back for you in June. The last things to come back will be the licensings and also the long range. They'll both be back in June. So Sunday 5th of June, we will do our first live stream. We may release a long-range update for the autumn as well on that day. I'm not sure, we might do that the following week, but I'll work it all out. But definitely both the long-range and the live streams will be back in June. That's the last things to get back. And it's all back. You know, I said we'd get it all back for June, and that's what we're going to do. So if you're waiting for live streams to return, Sunday the 5th of June will be the return of Gav, live stream. And I think we'll all be looking forward to that. I'll see you then, I'm sure. But plenty of videos to go for now and then, of course, including today, 10 to 14 days. So I say, please like, share, subscribe on videos. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We're getting very, very close to 13.4k now. Just got to put on around 15, I think, 15 subscribers. Get 13.4k. Been on wild code, we've been at 13.3k for a very, very long time. So you could get us a sub. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. So sorry, everyone. Right, okay, let's start off with the Arctic Oscillation Observed and Forecast chart. So the black line shows where it's been, with the AA, the red lines at the end, where the GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic Oscillation to go. Remember, the AO is just an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state. It doesn't drive anything, so in terms just tells what they're actually doing. When the AO is in a positive phase, got low pressure over the Arctic North Pole. When the AO is in a negative phase, will have high pressure over the Arctic and over the North Pole. So through May so far, we've been in a positive AO scenario. We went positive with the Arctic Oscillation around the turn of the month, actually. And we're still positive now. We're just here. So we've got quite a bit of low pressure up over the Arctic and over Pole 2. The AO, if anything, could go even more positive over the next few days. But as we get towards the end of May, beginning of June, there's a bit of change being signalled here by the GFS ensembles. They're indicating that the AO will reduce a lot, possibly going into negative territory. So certainly going back towards neutral there, and quite a few of those ensemble members are going into negative territory with the AO. That's quite significant. If it came off, it would at the very least indicate that there's some higher pressure being to build within high latitude, within northern latitudes. The LEO is the same idea, so again, black line shows where we've been with the LEO, red line at the end, the GFS ensembles are forecasting LEO to go. We are positive with the North Atlantic Oscillation right now. We go even more positive with the LEO over the next few days. But again, look at this, as we get towards the end of May, beginning of June, GFS ensembles are forecasting the LEO to reduce, to drop, either to neutral, possibly even into negative territory. So with both of the indexes being forecast to change there beginning of June, both of them at very least reducing, if not to neutral, if not going negative, that could be the signs of quite a significant northern hemispheric sort of change beginning to take place. Generally, a negative AO-LEO combination in summer will be quite a coolish, wettish type pattern, with a trough of low pressure stuck up over the north of Europe and Western Europe, and lower pressure, and from lower pressure and high pressure like around Greenland and within the Arctic. Of course, what you don't know is that, though, that's generally what happens, but what you don't know is where the blocks are going to sit. So it could be that somewhere else finds itself stuck under that trough of low pressure, let's say North America or Asia. So how it all works out, you know, in terms of the troughs and ridges remains to be seen. But it does look as though some pretty significant pattern change could be on the way for the beginning of mid-tropical summer. We'll have to wait and see. about that. Right, this is GFS, no, this is VCFS, this is VCT, what am I talking about? Sensing temperature is currently standing at 13.6, which is 2.8 degrees above average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 21st of June, the warm spring and the warm May continues. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks on Coventry today. Red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Coventry. Starting off above average at the moment, going to be a reduction in the upper air temperatures early next week, and then those upper air temperatures possibly lifting up as we get in towards the end of May, beginning of June. However, there is a lot of scatter within there. So we've got these cool ensemble members down here, which does include the GFS operational run, which is a thick green line, and the warmer ensemble members up here. So big differential actually between the warmest and coolest GFS ensemble member, telling us about, again, things are still not sorted out for end of May, beginning of June. There's still, there's still a lot to work out there about what's going to happen. It's all down to replacement of the ridge of high pressure. I'll talk you through it in a moment, but it is proving to be a little bit of a nightmare. And of course, this is coinciding with the Jubilee Weekend as well, the long weekend, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th of June. So it's all to be revealed, but yeah, a lot of uncertainty there. The GFS operational run for the midnight run was not a cold outlier or a cool outlier, but was at the coolest end of the range of the GFS ensemble, so bear that in mind when you see it in a moment. Precipitation-wise, with midnight GFS run, could be some rain coming up in the next few days, then perhaps a bit drier later next week and next weekend. By early June, possibly going a little bit more unsettled. The midnight GFS compared to the 6Z, which looks like this. Excuse me, once again. So this is the GFS 6Z ensemble graph. And again, for Coventry, again, red line 30 upper air temperature average. You see, again, we're above average at the moment. We can go cooler next week. I think the 6Z ensemble graph has probably backed off those warmer conditions a little bit, actually, for end of May, beginning of June. I think there has been a reduction in the in the warm ensemble members. There are still a few there, including late on the GFS operational run. So the operationals are swinging from warm to cold in the extended, and it all just highlights how uncertain this whole period is. So nothing is resolved really for around this time next week, I don't think. Around this time next week to the first week of June, it's all on the table, it's all to play for, and we're just going to have to see how it all works out. But I think the ensemble there for the 6M has sort of shifted quite a bit towards the cooler side of things, actually. There are far fewer of these warm or hot outlier ensemble members for the 6Z as there was for the midnight ensemble graph, if that makes sense. So, so when you get the ensemble shifting like that, you know, that just again highlights how much uncertainty you're dealing with really within the model output. The models are playing around with ideas and scenarios, and they're trying to latch on to what's going to happen. They will eventually get there, but at the moment they're just playing around with the position of the ridge, I think. Temperature anomalies on the 22nd to 1st of May, a little bit below average. And precipitation anomalies on the 22nd to 1st of May, driving average for Ireland, Wales and England, but a little bit wetter average for Northern Scotland. Latest wind from that from earth.northschool.net shows that during quite warm southerly wind from southern and eastern parts against today. But out west, we're beginning to move cooler air in from off the Atlantic, and these cooler westerlies, which have their origins from the south of Greenland, they'll be pushing across the country by the time we get through to tomorrow and beyond. The South UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Wednesday. Low pressure will bring wet and windy weather, and then we go through into Thursday and Friday and Saturday. High pressure reaching in from off the Atlantic, beginning to turn things drier. But the position is the high pressure means that we're pulling in the wind from quite a cool north or northeasterly direction. Although by this time next week, high pressure is more or less centrally located over top of the country. But it certainly won't be a heat wave up to next weekend anyway, although it will be settling down. Icon looks like this. Again, low pressure being wet and windy weather in from off the Atlantic on Wednesday. Then through Thursday, Friday into next weekend, higher pressure takes over from off the Atlantic. That will bring drier weather, definitely. But again, we're on the cool side of that ridge of high pressure. It won't be a heat wave. We'll be bringing the wind around the high from like a northerly or northeasterly direction. So relatively cool, probably pleasant enough by day, but the sun does have a lot of strength because it's nearly, the sun is nearly as strong as it's going to get in the entire year. So the sun will have a lot of strength through it. When the sun's out, it will feel warm over that area of high pressure, of course, but by night, could be a little bit on the cool side, actually. We end up with icon like that, possibly begin to move a low pressure into North Scotland, and maybe start to send that high pressure up towards Greenland. GFS midnight run, which you know is going to be a cool run, looks like this. Again, low pressure zipping through, bringing outbreaks of rain on Wednesday, then through Thursday, Friday into the weekend. Higher pressure takes over, but very quick that high pressure is pushing north. We're pulling in these cool northeasterly or northerly winds. So, yes, it does turn drier by next weekend. Probably showers, though, still in the east with these northeasterly winds. Main thing is that that is quite cool, especially for northern and eastern areas. Heading up towards the day temperature, which of course is 1st of June, that high pressure sits up to our west. So again, it's not a heat wave. We're bringing in the wind from a northerly direction, rather cool, but at least it's reasonably dry. In more extended range, getting to the bank holiday weekend, get a mid-Atlantic ridge to Greenland, Iceland blocking type thing, setting up, winds in from a northerly direction, so remain cool. Getting a lot of dry weather with that, but does look a little bit cool, I have to say, for the bank holiday weekend on this GFS run, with high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic and going north to Greenland and Iceland, with low pressure over Scandinavia, pulling in wind from the north or the northeast. Probably bring down quite a lot of cloud with that as well, so it's just not particularly exciting, but it's at least not a washout. You know, it's not a washout scenario, but it's quite cool, cloudy, and that sort of thing. 5th of June, last day of a long weekend again, bringing those winds from the north and northeast direction. Looks quite cool and reasonably dry. And then maybe by the end of the GFS midnight run, gets us to the 7th of June. High pressure German to ease back in from off the Atlantic Ocean, maybe cutting off that northeasterly. The GFS 6Z again shows low pressure set through country on Wednesday. That brings some wind and rain to the north, and high pressure takes over end of week into next weekend. Again, we are on the cool side of that area of high pressure, so not a heat wave, although it's setting down and will be sunshine, especially for the west. It is quite cool with winds around the high pressure from a northerly direction. And then up toward day 10, the 6Z sends that high pressure to Greenland and Iceland and pulls in this very chilly northerly wind or northeast wind. Say very chilly, it's all comparative. Of course, it won't be producing anything particularly cold because it's nearly summer. But, you know, for time of year, it will be quite a chilly northerly. Day 10 has shown lots of northern blocking, low pressure going to move in from off the Atlantic, looking a little bit ominous, maybe turning cool and wet then. But no, actually, the 6 manages to raise the Azores high and moves it back northwards again. So as you go to bank holiday weekend, the 6 actually turns things dry and very warm. Actually, maybe things get a little bit of a heat wave with 15 cells ice into far southwest. So we've got the swing wildly from run to run. We've got ensemble grass shifting wildly from run to run. And it's very, very indicative of what is a really uncertain period. And it all hinges on what's going to happen with this area of high pressure. So hold on to your hats and watch this space because it's all to play for the bank holiday weekend. The 6 ending up hot and dry, really, with high pressure pushing through the country and bringing in the wind from an easterly direction. I don't think there'll be any complaints about bank holiday weekend, except for those that don't like warm or hot weather. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much. You're very, very close now to 13.4k. So if you could give us a sub and get us to 13.4k, thank you so much for doing that. And we've still got the long range to go with this video, so plenty more to go. Going all right so far, though, isn't it? Famous last words, though. GM looks like that. Rather wet and windy off the Atlantic on Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. High pressure reaches in from off the Atlantic, turns us drier. But it is quite cool with winds in from the north or northeasterly direction over the weekend. So that brings quite a bit of cloud into the east and relatively coolish temperatures. When the sun is out, you'll feel okay, but it's a cool position for that ridge of high pressure. We finish up at day 10, Thursday of June, first day of mid-autumn summer, looking like that. Still blocking to our north. And still looking rather cool, it has to be said, where this area of low pressure around the Azores is going. Of course, that remains to be seen. And then the ECM looks like that. Low pressure on Wednesday will bring spells of rain, especially so for northern areas. And high pressure takes over into the weekend. High pressure reaching northwards, pulling in wind from more of a north and northeast direction. I think that's a little bit warmer though for next weekend with the ECM actually compared to all of the other models. There's less of a north or northeasterly influence through next weekend. So that should be rather warmer under that ridge of high pressure. However, it's more or less the same sort of idea. We finish up by day 10, 1st of June. High pressure in the North Atlantic. It's a mid-Atlantic ridge. It's becoming a northern blocking feature around Iceland and Greenland. And there's probably some sort of upper level trough developing as well there in the north. That could bring showery weather into the north. And it would be rather cool. The air is drifting in from Norway and off the North Sea. So sort of looking a little bit cloudy and maybe a little bit showery there. And quite cool, I think, by day 10. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Temeshow.com. So there will be wet weather coming up through the early part of this week. Up to Wednesday, there'll be showers along as well as rain. And then into the second half of the week next weekend, high pressure, of course, takes over then, so it does turn drier. There will be showers coming down, especially in the east off North Sea, but very dry weather by day 10. Maybe some wet weather into the north as that trough begins to set up just to our north and northeast. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble day 4, day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. This gets us to the first day of June. 20 members of the ECM ensemble with high pressure to our north and northwest, low pressure east-southeast wind coming in from an east or northeast direction. So quite cool, and that does include control and the operation run. 11 with high pressure further south, bringing back some warmer air up from the southwest. 10, look at this, we're blocking around Greenland and a trough of low pressure underneath it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That will be a cool wet scenario. Only 10 doing that though, so not necessarily all that concerning at this point. I mean, another 10 down here with high pressure just to west of Scotland. Around that again, we bring in the wind from an east or northeasterly direction, mainly dry. With that one in 2 weeks' time, getting us to the 6th of June, 6th of the 6th. We have 25 members of the ECM ensembles with Mid-Atlantic ridge towards Greenland. Trough of low over Scandinavia, winds in from the north. That's going to be cool, chilly, and quite unsettled, especially for the east. 14 with high pressure just to our west-southwest. Around that, we bring up wind from a westerly direction, so that's drier and warmer. And then 12 with high pressure just to our west and northwest, mainly dry, of course, with that. Not overly warm, winds are coming in from like an easterly or northeasterly direction. Warmest weather with that will be in the west, probably quite cloudy for more eastern areas. Right, let's start going through the CFS data then. So we're going to begin with the week 1 500 millibar heights on. This video will now become a long range update, everyone. Wow, wow, wow. This is what we do when we live stream. So it's a little bit of a plug for our live streams, which will be coming back from the 5th of June. Exciting times ahead. But here we go. We're going to have a look at some long range for this video. So we start off with week 1, 500 millibar heights anomalies from the 22nd, 28th of May. High pressure will be just to our west. Low pressure will be to our north. Winds will come in from a west or a northwesterly direction. So mainly dry, but a little bit on the cool side with that. Week 2 is going to be the 29th of May to the 4th of June. High pressure just out to our west. So again, main dry, but we're on the cool side of the ridge, bringing the wind from the north or from the northeast again. Week 3 will be the 5th to the 11th of June with high pressure again to our northwest in the Atlantic. So around that, we bring in the wind from the northeast direction. It's very dry, I have to say this. Not much sign of low pressure, not much sign of rain, but it does look as though we're all the time on the cool side of the ridge, though. Bit of a change, something warm perhaps week 4, track to the 18th of June, high pressure in the Atlantic but ridging through the country and going to the northeast. That would imply we've got a big area of high pressure from the Atlantic up to Scandinavia and we will start bringing warmer air with that from off the continent. So still dry, but that will definitely be turning a lot warmer. This is how June being forecast overall. The CFS-V2 today is 700 millibar high joint from the CFS, showing above average height centered over to the west of the country. Again, a lot of anticyclonic influences there. Not overly warm, average or no signal with the temperature anomaly. Actually, much of your parts of Europe looking quite cool. No sign of anything particularly hot away from Spain, really. And precipitation-wise, no particular signal. I would have thought a relatively dry month would be likely, though, to be honest, with that. So relatively dry and with high pressure, probably still in quite a warmish month, really, but not overly hot if high centre just to our west. Let's go even further out then. So again, this is 700 millibar height anomaly for June. We go for the next 6 months worth of data now with CFS. Next 6 months worth of data coming up. So this is a CFS 700 millibar height anomaly for June. High pressure just to the west, trough low pressure just to our northeast. Mainly dry, but not that warm, as we have already explained, as we are on the cool side of the ridge. July, looking like that. High pressure sort of reaching in from west into west of Europe. Probably lower pressure up here. I think that could be a bit warmer, though, for July. There's high pressure. Looks like it's a little bit more further south and centrally located. So probably still pretty dry, though, and rather warmer. August, very different. With high pressure then going north. With the above average heights go north. Anyway, there's no evident trough of low, but where we've got these white colours, I suspect there probably is a trough around here. So probably more unsettled into August, isn't it always? September looks like that with the high pressure in the Atlantic there. So again, the Jetson is probably going through something a bit like that. Northwest southeast line, I thought it'd like to be low pressure around here. So that could be rather cool and mixed. We're a long way out now, of course. Month 4, September, so not really worth worrying about. This is how October looks. The high pressure there is in the North Atlantic and going north. So northern blocking there for October, probably bringing like a cool, maybe quite cold sort of north-northeast. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a cold October, so that does look a little bit on the chilly side for that. And then November looks like that, month number 6 now. So again, we're so far out, just for fun. But high pressure is in the middle of the Atlantic, but also quite a lot of high pressure within high latitudes. This white area again is likely to be a trough of low pressure, so it could be rather cool and wet type signal for November. I'll show you the 3 monthlies as well, shall I? So this is November, December, January. Let's go back actually. Let's go back to June, July, August first of all. So this is summer with higher pressure, not that far away. So June and July both showing that to be reasonably dry with the CFS. And then there is a change for high pressure going north for August, but producing something a bit wetter. This is autumn. So this is September, October, November, with much more of a mid-Atlantic ridge to high latitude blocking type scenario. Trough low pressure probably through here. So cool, maybe rather unsettled signal for the autumn. Whoops, and then, where are we on the tab? So, we go there, right. And then November, December, January, as far as, I'm a little bit rusty with all of this. I haven't done a long range for a very long time. November, December, January, 2022, 2023, into the winter. Showing a lot of high latitude blocking again, a lot of orange and red within the northern latitudes. So plenty of high pressure up here. You have got a ridge from the Azores into Spain, which is being westerlies, and low pressure through here. So that's the kind of scenario. It could go either way. It could end up quite mild with west-southwest. However, with such a large amount of blocking within the northern latitudes, you wouldn't rule out the chance of cold weather, digging down into the big latitudes, courtesy of that blocking. But as we're only at the end of spring, and that is like early to mid-winter, 2022, 2023, I don't think it's worth worrying about. It's something we looked at for fun in our live streams, and as I say, the live streams will be returning in a couple of weeks' time, so not long to wait. If you've enjoyed the video, then please just smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, get them to subscribe too. And drop a comment, let us know what you think about all of our videos. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Amazing. Thank you so much. Right, we're done then with today's videos. Now, I'm going to have an evening off, I think. So, no bank holiday update tonight. We'll do that tomorrow evening after tomorrow 10 to 14 days. So, yeah, next installment for Bank Holiday Weekend will be coming up tomorrow evening. But for this one, and for today's video, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to like and sub before you check out and all that good stuff. And we'll see you again with some more videos very soon. But for this one, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your study. Bye for now.